We're about to watch a combination of 5 TikToks I posted of my official quarterback rankings. They've all been combined into one big video, which you are now watching. Enjoy. For 32, I have Mitch Trubisky. He's an alright athlete, he's an alright player, alright accuracy. He's alright at pretty much everything, but he's not great at anything. But he is a top 32 quarterback, but that's really about all I can say about him. I already know this is going to be very much hated, but I got Daniel Jones at 31. I acknowledge the deep ball ability, I acknowledge the athletic ability, but his decision-making is absolutely terrible, and he is abysmal in the quick game. Until he improves both of those, I can't take him seriously as a quarterback in this league. Again, he's a top 32 quarterback, meaning he's a starting caliber guy, but he's a very, very low-end starter. The only rookie on this list is number 30, Malik Willis. He's obviously not going to play in year one as Ryan Tannehill being the guy, but this is kind of more of a projection. I think he is the 30th best quarterback in the league right now. He is incredibly raw and needs time to develop, but from a natural trait standpoint, he's got it all. Coming in at 29 is Zach Wilson. I mean, he's got some ability. He gets crunched on this throw and delivers a dart. But it was a very up and down rookie year, because the flip side, this is one of the worst throws I've ever seen. But then on the flip side, he delivers this absolute beauty. I mean, seriously, watch this throw. That's incredible. Overall, I do expect a leap, though, in year 2 for Wilson. A guy who I do not expect to see a significant leap from in year 2 is my number 28, and that is Davis Mills. I think what you see is what you get, and that is a starter, but that's really about it. Nothing's truly special. Sure, he's good, but is he really anything special? I would go with no. Number 27, the only true backup on this list, that is Teddy Bridgewater. We know what he is at this point, and that is a guy who will come in and do his job. Maybe not exceptionally well, but he'll do his job. Coming in at 27 is Jared Goff, who did finish the year strong, but we've seen his peak. I don't know if he'll ever return to it. He's not without ability, but I can't say anything too crazy about him. Mister, I have absolutely zero excuses whatsoever to be anything but very good this year. Tua Tagovailoa coming in at 25. We'll see what he's got, but he's incredibly accurate and great in the quick game, and we'll see if the rest translates. Coming off the down season at number 24, I do have Baker Mayfield, who, at his peak, is a very solid player, but last year, yeah, he was playing hurt, but my God, he was not solid, to say the least. Not to mention the fact he's acting like an absolute child, which does not make him exactly wanted by other teams. Coming in at number 23 is the man who I believe is the most frustrating quarterback to watch in the NFL, Carson Wentz, because he has the ability to do that. And right after he makes an amazing throw, the next play, he'll do something like this. But then he'll make you forget about it because on the next play, he'll do that. But his absolute refusal to take sacks just turns him into a guy that I don't trust. So I can't trust him. I just can't. Like, you can't even throw it to a lineman unless they're eligible, which he wasn't. I can understand people saying this is too high after his rookie season, but at number 22, I do have Justin Fields for a couple of reasons. Number one, he did show a ton of flashes last season, but also, I am just very high on him. I mean, I picked him to win Rookie of the Year. It was a very disappointing rookie season, but I do think he has that potential still. You also gotta remember, the weapons around him were absolutely god-awful, but the ability he has is absolutely there, and I think he can be a very solid player, and I think we'll take a significant leap in year 2. Okay, so what I just said about Justin Fields, same exact thing about Trevor Lawrence, except I think he's better than Fields, so I have him one spot higher at 21. I really can't wait to see what both of these guys have going for them in year 2. I just couldn't put him any higher just because their rookie years were so up and down. Coming in here at number 20 is Jimmy Garoppolo, who I think is a little overhated, but he's far from great, but I do think he gets a little bit too much hate. Sure, he's not asked to do much, but what he's asked to do, he's able to do, and he does it pretty well. Does he do it great? No, but he does it pretty well. At number 19 is a guy that I feel like should be higher, I just can't rank him higher, and that's Jalen Hurts. I think he has what it takes to be a great quarterback in this league, and a guy who would be much, much higher on this list. I just can't do it yet, but I expect to after the season is over. Number 18 is Matt Ryan, who I think at this point in his career is an average quarterback and nothing really more than that. I think the Colts really brought him in not because of the good that he's going to do, it's more of the lack of bad. But he's definitely still got ability, and I expect him to help the Colts win games next year for sure. And the final player for this part, at number 17, is Jameis Winston, a guy that I do think needs to improve. I've never been his biggest fan, but I got to admit, he played at a very high level last year. I won't say he's proved me wrong yet, but I will say he's well on his way to doing so next season. But I gotta see it before I fully give him that. Here at number 16 is Ryan Tannehill, a guy that was very disappointing last year. He was in that conversation to be among the elite of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL, and obviously he is no longer in that consideration. The guy absolutely does still have some ability to be a very fine quarterback. I mean, I have him at 16. That's literally right smack in the middle of an average starting caliber quarterback in this league. And of course, he did show those flashes of being an elite quarterback last year. This throw, everyone talks about the catch, I think is the most impressive single throw any player made last year. This is ridiculous. I'm not saying it's not an amazing catch, but the window he had to fit that in, people don't talk about that. Look at this window he fit this ball into. Despite having the best rookie season by a quarterback last year, Mac Jones is being pretty underrated right now. I have him at number 15, and I feel like a lot of people won't agree with this for some reason, even though he definitely deserves to be on this caliber. That said, I don't know how much higher his ceiling is. I think he's a very solid, good quarterback, but how much better is he going to get? I'm not too sure. 14 is Kirk Cousins, who's a guy that is just always going to stay in this tier. He's never really going to be lower than this, and he's never really going to be higher than this. He's the guy that is always going to be solid. I don't know how many times he'll ever be elite, but he's always going to be a good, capable starter. Coming in at number 13 is the guy that I believe is the most underrated, underappreciated quarterback of the last decade or so. That is Derek Carr. He has put up very consistently good numbers as the quarterback of the Raiders for a long time. I cannot wait to see what he does next year with Devontae. It really is remarkable that Dak Prescott, after having an injury that we never knew what was going to happen to him, we didn't know if he'd ever play again, but not only did he come back, he played at a very high level, and I have him coming in at number 12. My only question mark for him is whether or not he can take that next step into becoming an elite quarterback. He's going to be very good for a long time, but will he ever be great? I'm not sure. And the final quarterback for this type of tier, 16 through 11, number 11, we do have Matthew Stafford. We all know how clutch he's been over the years, and obviously he proved that on the biggest of stages last year. No moment bigger than the Super Bowl where you do a no-look pass. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I'm not going to put him any higher just because I think the 10 quarterbacks above him are just simply better. But there's no denying that Matthew Stafford proved me and a lot of people wrong that he is absolutely on this tier of quarterbacks, and there's no denying it. Number 10, I do have Kyler Murray. From a raw talent standpoint, he is absolutely incredible. Ridiculous accuracy and ball placement as you see on a throw like that. He has all the talent and ability in the world. He just needs to put it all together, and he will be in that elite of the elite quarterback tier. But right now, he's at number 10. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Coming in at number 9, the man himself, Lamar Jackson. A guy who will continue to get slandered for really no reason except for the fact that people love to hate him. One of the most exciting players in the NFL, as well as an incredibly down-to-earth person, a guy that is an incredible teammate and someone that everyone that has ever been around him has said nothing but positive things about. And one of the truly unique quarterbacks in NFL history when you combine his ability on the air and on the ground. Now, his biggest issue is not his ability to throw it. It is the decisions that he makes with throwing the ball. Because if you're going to actually try and say that he can't throw the ball, you're just simply not watching him. Because that's a pretty damn good throw. Or he just can't throw deep enough when in reality he threw one of the deepest footballs anyone threw last year on this deep touchdown to Hollywood. But if you say his decision-making is terrible and needs to be improved, I don't think you're going to get much of an argument from anyone. Now, if he can fix that tendency to play hero ball, I mean, you're looking at the best quarterback in football. But I'm realistic. He has flaws, and that's why not only is he not number 1, I have him down at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we do have Joe Burrow, a guy who really showed it all, especially in the playoffs last year. Was also very good in the regular season, just didn't get enough attention from the media until obviously the media went on to overhype him. He's definitely one of those guys that went from incredibly underrated to very overrated because he went from no one talking about how good he was playing to everyone talking about how good he was and saying he's the best quarterback ever, mainly 12-year-olds. But like most debates, the true answer, in my opinion, for Joe Burrow is somewhere in the middle. He's very, very good, but he's not on that top 5 level. But he is very, very good. Coming in at number 7 is Deshaun Watson, a guy that I think people forgot just how good of a football player he is. 2020, this guy was right up there in the discussions for best quarterback in football before obviously everything happened. The only reason why this guy's not in the top 3 is because there are real question marks because he has not played in a full year. 6 is Russell Wilson, who, yeah, I feel like is going to be higher on this list than most people's quarterback rankings, but he still has a ton of ability despite the down year last year. Just said it. He had a down year last year, but he wasn't awful like so many people were trying to say he was. Getting that change of scenery this year in Denver and a new system, going to try and revamp this Broncos franchise. I think will do great things for his career, but I will miss that connection with Tyler Lockett. Coming in at number 5, and do not hold me to this, but probably my MVP pick for next year, Justin Herbert. I still can't get over that throw. He really has it all, and I understand the team's success has not been there, but if you watch the guy play, you can't criticize his game. You just can't. And don't forget about his ability to run, too, because he can do that very, very well. And yeah, we're talking about Herbert, but every time I watch this, I can't believe that Cameron Hayward was the one that caught him. And yes, I am going to take this moment to brag and talk about how I knew from the beginning this guy was not a bust and was going to be a great player. One of the earliest debates in the Next Network history, Michael thought Tua was better, I thought Herbert was better, and yeah, I was right. At number 4, we have the greatest rushing quarterback in the history of the NFL, Tom Brady. What I always talk about with Brady is that he has turned the hardest position to play in sports into a science. He's got so few flaws. Instead of just trying to break him down and talk about what he's bad at, just enjoy it, because he's not going to be around forever. Because it really is just so beautiful to watch him play. And I don't care if you live to be 1,000 years old. You will never see another Tom Brady. I talked about how Justin Herbert was probably my MVP pick. If I don't pick Herbert, the guy I'm going to go with is number 3 on my list, Josh Allen. It really has been amazing to watch him come into his own, obviously, with Brian Daboll there. But now that he's gone, people might think, oh, maybe he won't be the same player. But the new OC is Ken Dorsey, who was his quarterback's coach. So it's going to be the exact same system. So I don't expect to see anything less than what we've seen in the last few years out of this guy. And that is some unbelievably elite quarterback play. As I'm filming this video, like just now, I'm coming to this realization. You know what Josh Allen is with this combination of size, speed, arm talent, excitement? He is if Cam Newton was able to find real consistency in this league instead of those flashes that he showed. Outside of that one MVP year, Cam Newton was not able to sustain what he had. Josh Allen has now done it for 2 straight years, and he just shows no signs of slowing down. The way his season ended last year, I think, has taken away just how good he's been over the last 2 years. Aaron Rodgers is number 2 and absolutely deserves to be there. Let's not forget, this guy has won and deserved MVP for the last 2 consecutive seasons. His touchdown-interception ratio is a joke. Since 2020, guess what it is? 85 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So while he may not be number 1 on this list, let's not mess around here. He absolutely deserves to be number 2. Number 1 on this list, and it is not a debate, is Patrick Mahomes. Why, you might ask? We're just going to sit back and watch, and you tell me what other quarterback can do what this guy does on a consistent basis. You watch this play and tell me how in any way you can defend this. He throws this ball from the 28 into that coverage to the other 25 into that window. Same thing as Steph. Like, the degree of difficulty is crazy. And don't be like, oh, he was wide open. That's 53 yards off his back foot while backpedaling. And oh yeah, just for fun, he can run too. I mean, there's no doubt he belongs at number 1 on this list. There you go, everybody. That's my complete top 32 quarterback list. Next up, running backs.